From deep in the heart of Beverly Hills, you found For Love and Chocolate with Mr. and Mrs. Truffles.
Well, welcome back to the show, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody. You have a big, perky smile, don't you, Mrs. Truffles?
Well, I have a good reason for it,
Why's
Mr.
that?
Truffles.
Tell me.
So last week we were talking about how we've come up on the charts and we were consistently within the top 40, sometimes in the top 30.
Crazy.
Well, hello. This last week,
Yeah?
we got into the top 20.
We did.
And you know what that means?
Tell me.
That means we're almost podcast stars.
Really?
Yes.
I got to tell you, it is thrilling to be in the company of so many of these wonderful podcasters.
Well, I think the more thrilling thing is that I'm pretty sure that from now on, when the TMZ bus comes down our street,
Yeah.
which they do all day, every
They
day,
do, yep.
along with all the other sightseeing buses, Camden Drive is a big route for the big
It
tourist
is.
buses.
Yes.
And I'm pretty sure that we are going to be the main feature now.
You think so?
No.
You don't think we're the celebrity sighting?
Oh, no, but we're on our way.
It's so sweet when the TMZ comes by, that bus, that big red bus. Tish the Dish is kind of our favorite tour guide.
She's a good egg.
She is, and she always mentions us. She mentions Torture Chocolates. She mentions Mr. and Mrs. Truffles. She mentions our podcast. And if I'm out and about, I will absolutely engage. They want to know what celebrities have come through, but at the end of the day, they really want our chocolate. So it's not been unusual for me, if I've got a moment, to actually get on the bus with all of the TMZ patrons and give away some champagne truffles.
Yeah, sometimes you do a trivia thing.
Yeah, yep, it comes with the price. They have to play my little silly games.
Yeah, you always have fun games to play with them.
And it's shameless, but I do force them to download our podcast if they want
I
a
would
chocolate.
explain why we are so big in Peoria.
They love us in Peoria.
They do.
Yeah, but it's fun, and they have their lanyards, and if they come in after the tour and show me their lanyard, they get
a
a
free
champagne truffle. Yeah,
Yeah, it's really nice.
It's fun. I know that when I go on those, I mean, I don't do a lot of celebrity tours, and
Have you ever been on a celebrity tour?
I don't know, but I mean, if I visit another city like Boston, I know that I did
The Boston Strangler tour?
Yeah. Wait, you know that exists, right?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It was like, the thing is, it's a midnight tour, and you visit all these graveyards and these, I guess, homes of victims and of
Okay, well, that sounds like fodder for another podcast.
not very love and chocolate. There's so many murder and Boston Strangler podcasts out
Yeah.
there. Maybe we should get on the bandwagon.
Well, Mr. Truffles, I think that is a lovely idea.
Yeah?
No.
We'll call it Love and Chocolate and Murder.
Well, that's how you get to number one.
I think clearly. Welcome to Love, Chocolate, and Murder.
Well, Mr. Truffles, I'm very excited today, and I think you know why.
I think I know why, too.
Yes, we have our very wise, sage, and illustrious experts, Herb and Minerva Snuffleguard, coming to answer questions with us.
Cannot wait.
I think it's time.
Oh, it's time. Ask the expert.
All right. Well, welcome back to the show, Herb and Minerva.
Yeah, we're so happy
Very
to
good
have
to be
you
back
two.
here.
So
It's
good.
wonderful to see you.
Thank you. So good to see you. And for people who don't know the Snuffleguards, they are experts on marriage because they have been married for 80 years.
Yeah.
They're very wise.
Is that right, Minerva? Has it really been that long?
Has it been 80?
Indeed,
Oh
it
my
has.
Wonderful. Well, we have some very good questions for you today that I think your long time experience in marriage will make you experts to answer. The first question in our mailbag, and of course these are written to us, and I'm going to read it for you guys to answer. Dear Mr. and Mrs. Truffles, I've really been enjoying your show, and I'm hoping you might have some advice for me. I have been happily married to Morris for 30 years, but lately he has been worrying me. He has become obsessed with TikTok. He is on TikTok morning, noon, and night, watching all kinds of racy things that I'm not sure a 60-year-old man should be looking at. What do you think I should do about the TikTok? Thanks, Jill. So, what do you think about the TikTok?
TikTok's amazing. It keeps you on time. You tick-tock, tick-tock, goes that clock.
Oh,
Wow,
that's very insightful.
it is insightful.
Thank you. Now, I have another question that I think you guys can really help us with. This one comes from a young woman named Andrea. Dearest Truffles, I am a 30-year-old gal with a fairly new relationship as we've only been dating for about 4 months. My boyfriend and I had a good laugh early on when we discovered that we actually wear the same shoe size. Problem is that now I've caught him trying on my pumps several times. Aside from stretching out the heels of my pumps, should I be worrying about his preoccupation with my pumps? Sincerely, Andrea. Well, Herb and Minerva, tell us, what do you think about those pumps?
Well, actually, that's where we first met. He worked the pumps as a gas station in our youth.
He worked at the pumps.
He did, and he pumped gas, and he had on a beautiful, very handsome outfit, a pumping outfit.
I did indeed. It was the Flying A, and I pumped the gas so well, especially when you pulled up. I could pump the gas, and I might add, I could do a little small talk with you, but I always made sure your car was filled up, 'cause that pumping station was the pride of my 17-year-old life.
Was that how you two first met, at the pumps?
It was.
Wow.
That's so sweet. You know what, Herb? I don't know if we know how you proposed to Minerva.
So I picked her up, put her on the stool, I got down on my knee, and it went something like this. Picture you upon my knee with T for two and two for tea and me for you and you for me alone. Do nobody near us to see us or hear us, no friends or relations. On weekend vacations we won't have it known that we own a telephone, dear. Oh, day will break and you'll awake and start to bake a chocolate cake for me to take, for all the boys to see. We can share a chocolate or three, a caramel for you and a truffle for me. Can't you see how happy we will be? We will be.
Oh, Herb, that was just lovely.
I just feel like I'm right there with you at the soda fountain watching you sing to her and propose. Wow, so beautiful, Herb.
It seems like just such a short time ago. And you know, Minerva, I love you as much today as I did at the soda fountain all those years ago.
Oh,
Okay, Mr. Truffles, well, why don't we talk about our next romantic couple that we have coming in today?
Well, okay, Mrs. Truffles. We have Tony and Christine Alcantara. Now, Tony graduated from the University of Michigan in 1985. Go Blue. Then he graduated from Wayne State University School of Medicine in 1989. He was an assistant clinical professor of radiology at Wayne State University and Central Michigan University, a fellow of the American College of Radiology, chairman of radiology at Henry Ford St. John Hospital since 2006, and maybe most importantly, director of the Grunions since 2004, a men's a cappella group in Detroit that is celebrating its 75th anniversary. Christine also went to the University of Michigan in 1986, Go Blue, and worked as a cardiac ultrasound tech part-time while raising 3 boys. Then, in her 50s, in 2020, she returned to get a master's degree in social work from Wayne State University and now works as a psychotherapist specializing in trauma and addiction. Together, these two, I'm sorry, sweetie, I don't know if they're lovebirds or if they love birds, but they enjoy traveling, playing golf, and attending live music and sporting events. They've raised 3 boys with whom they enjoy playing music and share that with others with a yearly Christmas video posted on their Alcantara family YouTube channel. And we'll be sitting down with these 2 bird lovers when we come back with more for Love and Chocolate. For over 40 years, Toysher has been a staple in the Beverly Hills community. Like so many other families in the community, our family has had a long-standing love affair with Toysher chocolates. Over the years, we've formed traditions and memories around these extraordinary Swiss chocolates and the enchanting wonderland of fantasy truffle boxes inside our store. Today, our family is proud to be carrying on the Toysher tradition in Beverly Hills.
Well, welcome back to the podcast.
Welcome back, Miss Truffles. We've got a very special couple with us today.
I'm so excited.
Here's the thing. You know how I say I've known these people for 30 years?
Sometimes you say that, like
I've
a lot.
known these 2 for 40 years.
What?
Yes, it's true. And you know what else? I think you know a lot about someone by the contents of their pockets.
Okay.
And all I'm going to say is that my friend Tony, and he's here with his beautiful wife, Christine. Tony, at any given time, in his pockets, will have marbles, a decoder ring, and a pitch pipe. And tell me I'm wrong, Tony. Tell me I'm wrong. Because he's got a beautiful singing voice. And we used to sing in the Friars, which is a male octet out of the University of Michigan. And they came all the way from Detroit, Michigan to be with us today.
Oh, well, welcome, you guys.
Welcome,
Thank
guys.
you. So nice to be.
Oh, we're happy to be here.
How long have you guys been married for?
36 years.
Wow.
Good for you.
That's
I wish I
amazing.
had a siren or a bell.
That's
to ring.
shocking.
It's shocking to you, 36
It
years?
doesn't feel like
How did that
36
happen, right?
I have no idea.
But together for 40.
It's been 40 years since we met.
Wow. Well, why don't we go ahead and get into it? Why don't you guys tell us how you first met?
Well, we met in 1984 in the fall. It was the beginning of school at the University of Michigan. I was a senior. Tom mentioned that we were in a group called the Friars together. We were in the Glee Club together. And at the beginning of the year, I got invited to a party that Tommy's fraternity was throwing. Me and another Friar went. Great party.
Who was the other friar that came?
Daryl Daniel.
Didn't care for him.
And
I love Daryl. I'm kidding. Sorry.
Nobody says that about Daryl.
they had a great dance floor. I ended up dancing with a beautiful girl. Just so happened that we were dancing next to Tommy. And Tommy was also dancing with another beautiful girl. She started to look at me, and all of a sudden, Tommy was introducing us.
That's true. Tony's parents and my father went to the same medical school in the Philippines.
Okay.
We had a lot of mutual friends, like people at Michigan. Well, you know Tony. I'm like, no, I don't. I don't know who. I don't know. And that summer, I had gone to a high school graduation party where the Friars were singing. And so then I knew what he looked like, even though I did not meet him. I just thought it was very odd that we didn't know each other. It just felt awkward. I thought, oh, that's that guy. Maybe I should meet him so that if we're ever, it just felt like the right thing to do. So Tommy introduced us at the party.
Tommy introduced you guys. So you were dancing with Tommy, and you were dancing with someone else.
Yeah.
Right.
And then you
we
two
got
started
introduced.
looking at each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a nice introduction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So then later in the party, I was standing on the steps looking at the dance floor. All of a sudden, Christine starts walking up to me. She says, "Hey, you want to dance?" I said, "Sure." And so we walked down to the dance floor. I turn around to look at my friend Daryl, and he's like, "Yeah." And so we danced, and we danced for a couple songs. And after that, we kind of split up and went on to the rest of the party.
What happened was this guy, never saw him before, never saw him since. I'm going to be polite. Probably not someone from your fraternity.
No.
I had a feeling.
Okay.
And he asked me to dance. And I'm not going to say no. You know, I mean, it's just rude. I'm not going to say no. So we go to dance, but do you remember the stairs came down,
Yes.
Matt, right? I walked underneath the stairs so no one would see
To hide
me
him?
dance.
You
No.
took him behind the stairs to dance.
Yeah, so that no one
No
would
one
see
see
me
you.
dancing with this
Oh,
guy.
wow.
You got it. So then I'm like, the song ends. I'm like, oh my gosh, how am I going to get out of this? And I see Tony standing on the stairs. And it was the first weekend of school, right? I thought, oh, I'll go talk to him. And so I could get away from this other guy.
Wow.
Oh my god.
So I went up and asked Tony to
That's the impetus.
She
Beyond
told
that.
this other guy, I see an old friend of mine I haven't seen in a long time.
'Cause it
I'm
was-
going to go talk to him.
Right, that's what I did. I know.
So
yeah. We just danced, and then
We
no, I
danced,
don't.
but since she came to ask me to dance, I thought, hey, she's
I'm in.
a little interested in me. So
All right.
She's not trying to get away from the creepers. She actually likes me.
a couple of days later, I called the tryout house where she was a tryout. So I, didn't have a phone number or anything for her. So I just called the house because they have a house phone, right?
That's what you did back then.
That's it.
Yeah.
Right?
Who answers the house phone but Christine? I said, can I speak to Christine Armada? This is she.
Speaking.
So
Because
we
once
started-
again, I'm being polite.
Yeah.
Instead of the phone just ringing and ringing
You're
and
gonna
ringing,
answer
I'm
it.
like, I'm just going to answer.
Might be the man of your dreams. You just never know.
There, I didn't really think of that, but there you go.
See?
So we talked and we arranged to have a date later that week.
Mm-hmm.
We went on our first date after that, which was a boring date.
Very boring.
It was a boring date.
It was the worst date
Oh,
I'd ever
God.
been on.
Yeah.
Both-
We went to, if you remember, the Nectarine Ballroom. Do you
Sure.
remember the Nectarine
Yeah,
Ballroom?
yeah.
The place to go. And it was long play night. So they played the 15-minute version of everything. Oh. Hell.
Oh, that was.
Well, and then we were too similar. We were too similar. I'm like, oh yeah, I've been there, done that. Yeah.
Yeah, we know this person. We know that
Did you
person.
both feel like it was not a great date?
Yeah, because we knew so many people in common that were like, oh, I refer to this person as my cousin. She referred to that person as sort of her cousin too, or
More of a friend.
Yeah.
it was almost like gosh, she's like a cousin.
Yeah.
And you guys kind of come from the same tight knit community.
Yeah,
And they,
Kind
exactly.
of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah.
My mom is Caucasian, so we weren't as part of that.
Right.
As
It's
a
some
Filipino
other,
community?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So I was kind of outside of it.
Well, I felt like I kind of screwed up, so I had to do something to make up for that.
Okay.
The World Series was coming up. Detroit Tigers were in the World Series. So my roommate and I, we said, okay, we're going to find some dates and bring them to the World Series.
Fun.
So
Wow.
We went out Friday night. It was our bad first date.
Sunday, we
Day.
ran into each other at the library.
And once again, I was polite because I'm like, oh my gosh, there's
defining
Tony.
quality.
I
Here it
should
is.
probably go say hello to him, even though that was the worst date ever.
Oh, God.
So I, hey Tony, how you doing?
I said, hey, you want to go to the World Series?
Absolutely.
Did you know if she was a baseball fan?
I don't think she was a
I'm
baseball
not a
fan.
Didn't really
baseball
matter,
fan
no.
even
It
now.
didn't matter. It was World Series,
No,
right?
it's World Series.
And so you immediately, yeah,
Oh, of course, I'm going to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah, because the second date was October 13th.
Right. Oh,
And I remember that because October 14th was when the Tigers won the World Series, and Tommy and I sang the national anthem at that World Series.
so we did. So wasn't it? Or was it
Game
five?
5.
Game
Okay.
5.
Our date was Game 4, and in Game 5, the Glee Club sang the national anthem.
Mm-hmm.
We got to stay for the game, and it was just a thrilling experience.
Vin Scully called it one of the most beautiful renditions
He did.
he'd ever heard.
Yes.
As our buses are almost turned over by the rioters after the victory. It was scintillating and horrifying. All at once.
That's right.
It was the fourth game of the World Series, Tiger Stadium. We were sitting in the upper bleachers. My mom and my sister were in the seats next to us.
On our second date.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So Alan Trammell hits this home run.
Alan Trammell is a professional baseball player and played for the Detroit Tigers for 20 years. His talents helped them win the World Series in 1984.
The crowd goes crazy.
Yeah.
I look over at Christine and I kiss her.
It's true.
Whoa, second date.
Right in front of your mom and sister?
Yes.
Tony. Oh, my God.
It was like a celebratory, like, yay.
Yeah,
kiss.
It was
Yeah.
not
It wasn't a
Okay.
passionate,
it
sensuous.
was not a
Yeah.
proper kiss.
Right.
Yeah.
We ended up having a good time. I think my mom gave me some cash. She said, "Go take her out to dinner."
Oh,
Okay.
I didn't know
the
that.
blessing.
I didn't know that.
Filipino
So
blessing.
we drove back to Ann Arbor. We ended up going out to dinner, and then we went to a movie. It was a
so
long
long.
day. A long
Oh,
day.
still the same day.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we're driving back from Detroit to
Yeah.
Ann Arbor, and his roommate's driving, and he said, "What are you doing now, everyone?" And I was like, "Well, I actually have to study." Chuck gave me the worst evil eye in the rearview mirror, and I was like, "Oh, or not." And then we went to a movie. I don't know why
We went to a
did that.
movie.
wait. After the game and the dinner, you went to a movie. Okay.
I held her hand in the movie theater, and
It was a good date.
I'm sorry,
yeah,
but
then-
that sounds like it was moving kind of quickly. I mean, listen, the kiss is intimate, but holding hands.
Well, we
No,
had-
really, no, that's a big move.
Really?
Right? I think
Is
so.
it?
Don't
Well,
you?
then-
Well, you know what? It is, especially at that age when you're so young and innocent, and like the first time someone takes your hand, it's so like, wow, okay,
Come
this is
with me.
on, this is happening.
Come with me.
Yeah.
10 years in, I still haven't held her hand.
Oh,
I'm
right.
waiting for the moment.
And then I think we had a proper kiss as I
Oh, is that right?
took her home to the Tried-Out house.
Thank you, Alan Trammell.
Yeah, exactly.
Good job, man. Without that home run.
Yeah. So after that, actually, at the Tried-Out house, there was a rule that the guys that were dating the Tried-Outs can thank me because there was sort of a second date rule for a while there.
Like my friends, right? Like, oh, well, it wasn't a good first date, but like Christine and Tony, like maybe I should go on a second date.
Wow, you
Right
set the
on.
standard. I
People
love
got
it.
second chances
I
because of
Right.
that.
love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we stayed together, right, the whole year. At Valentine's Day, I brought the Friars to come serenade her at the Tried-Out house.
During dinner.
It was during dinner, so all the girls were there for having dinner. I timed it so that right after dinner, Friars came to serenade the whole sorority. They put Christine in a chair.
I remember this.
Yeah, she was sitting facing the Friars, but her back was towards all the girls. And I was hiding in the back. So I had the Friars sing 3 or 4 songs, and then the plan was for me to come out at the last verse of the last song, which was
I just
I called to say I love you. I was kind of peeking, and in between songs, the girls were just going crazy. Applause and the screaming, right? When the Friars parted and I came out, it was
Lost it. Like a beetle. Like a Beatles were there.
I'm looking at the girls a little bit. I'm looking at Christine, and I'm singing, but you could start to hear the girls crying. Oh! Yeah, they were crying, and we finished the song. All of a sudden, I felt like, oh my gosh, these girls think I'm about to propose. So we quickly left the area. But
You got out of Dodge.
the other guys that we sang with, Bondo and Tim, they just remember that performance as one of the highlights of the year.
Amazing. That's so sweet.
So after that, the guys didn't appreciate me because
Right. How do I top that, Tony?
the other girls were saying, "Oh, you should have seen what what Christine
Why don't you sing to
had."
me?
Yeah,
So sweet.
That's so sweet. So you didn't propose then.
I did not.
How long was it until you did propose?
So that was 85. I proposed in 1987.
Okay.
After I graduated from Michigan in 85, I went to New York. We had 1 year where we were doing long distance because
yeah.
Christine was finishing up her senior year when
Yeah.
I was in first year medical school.
You graduated, and then you guys went to Europe for 6 weeks.
Yes, we did.
I've heard
Yeah.
so many stories about that summer
Yeah.
trip.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
they were quite the dapper fellows.
Well, I mean, we were all clean-cut young men with our blue Glee Club jackets singing in perfect 4-part harmony. There were 55 of us, I
What's
think.
not to love?
55
And there
is
was
probably
never
correct.
an opportunity that we didn't take to sing.
When I was in Europe with the club, Christine met my parents.
That's right. I was doing an internship in Washington, D.C., and they had a place in Atlantic City. So they invited me to meet them in Atlantic City for July 4th weekend.
Oh.
So I said, okay, sure, why not? Took the Greyhound bus to Atlantic City. But it was great to get to know his family without him.
Tony wasn't there.
He wasn't there.
You went down to see his family without him.
His parents and his sister to do it. So his parents love to gamble, and so I learned to gamble that weekend. It was super fun. They gamble really well. And we were at one of the casinos walking out at 5 o'clock in the morning. They're vacuuming. The sun is coming up on the Atlantic, and his parents holding hands.
Oh.
And I thought, this would be a nice family to be a part of.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Right? Talk
gam-
about
the-
holding hands, right?
Yes, the gambling
Yeah.
So
sunsetters.
cute.
Right.
They were so adorable.
Yes.
And it was really good to get to know his sister a little bit. And it was I was so happy to have done that, actually.
That's amazing, actually. Yeah.
You're thinking, I want to be in this family of gambling addicts.
That's right.
One-armed bandits.
Multi-generational
everywhere.
wisdom.
His father did pull me aside at one point to say, Christine, this isn't how you actually make money, to live on. This is just fun.
It's funny money.
I said, yeah, I'm well aware of that. But he felt incumbent that he needed to, define
Right.
that.
He's like,
Which is
he didn't want to
hilarious.
turn you into a gambling
Right,
addict.
yeah,
While
yeah.
his son was in Europe.
Right. Yeah, so it was fun. Recommend to people, spend some time with the family you think you're going to be a part of because you're going to be a part of them regardless of where you live, right? It doesn't matter if they live far away from you, they're still going to be part of the family.
That's blood,
Yeah,
baby.
you marry
That's
the whole
right.
family. You do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And when did the proposal happen?
Towards the end of medical school, maybe the end of my third year or so, I proposed. I wrote a song and I sang it to her, played the piano. Well, it happened, well, I ended up transferring schools back to Wayne State. I did my third year at Wayne State, and in between third and fourth year was when the proposal happened. 1987, I guess, fall of 1987. And yeah, I wrote a song, played it on the piano.
Do you want to say where the proposal happened?
It was in my parents' house in the basement
Right?
where the piano was.
Right?
Did you see it coming?
I did and didn't. I had just realized that day, earlier in the day, I was like, oh, I think it's the anniversary of the day we met, or our first date or something like that.
Tony.
And I was like, oh, should I have said that? Did I ruin something? And
Okay, so you're in the basement. You've got the ring. Yes?
Yes.
You've got a song to sing. And you plank her down in your beanbag chair. And you're like, just listen to this.
Well, we were sitting on the piano bench together.
Okay?
And then after...
because we had to be by the piano.
Yeah.
Was the proposal within the song?
Yes, it was.
Wow. Do you remember the chorus that got you there?
At the end, it was, something, some.
No, it wasn't something. You're going to sing it to us now.
Uh-oh.
I don't remember all the words. Will you stay with me forever? Will you grow old? Can we grow old together?
Oh, Tony, come on. You came all the way from Motown. Let's do this right.
Will you stand by me forever? Can we share all things together? Will you be my wife? Can I count on you whenever? Can we grow old together? Will you love me the rest of your life? We'll have the whole world at our feet, you'll see. Our dreams will become reality. It all begins to come true when we both say I do. But first, Christine Marie, will you marry me?
Tony, that's so good. Oh, no, that's so sweet. That's really
Yeah,
sweet.
so we have that in our...
Beautiful.
That's a first for us. I've never heard of anyone ever propose through an original song.
That's amazing.
That's
No,
really
we've heard
sweet.
some beautiful stories, but I
Yeah.
think you guys might win. That is amazing. Yeah.
So you said,
Yes.
you said yes.
Of course I did.
And now, had you guys looked at rings before, or did
Yeah, we looked a little
you?
bit.
So you kind of knew that it was
Yeah.
on the table. Yeah.
Yeah. I told Tony just to pick the ring, but he was like, no, that's too much money to like gamble on. Remember?
But he's from a family of gamblers.
I'm not the gambler.
Right. He's not the gambler.
So you took a ring shopping before.
Yes, we did. Yeah.
Get an
yeah.
idea of what your style was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then he's still in school. You get engaged, and an hour later or whenever, they're like, and so when are you getting
Oh,
married?
of course.
I'm just like, I don't know. I have no idea. But apparently it was only my mother raised all of us kids. I have two brothers. You cannot get married till you're done with school. I don't know why this was so important to her, but that's what she said. So I'm thinking, well, he's got another year and a half, right? So we probably won't get married for a year and a half. We tell our parents, and well, so when do you think you're going to get married? And I tell my parents, well, not till Tony's out of school. That's the rule. Like, you can't get married till you're done with school. And they said, no, that's ridiculous. Just get married.
Not a rule.
It's not a hard and fast rule.
They wanted to get it moving, right? They wanted.
Well, I think they knew that we were a good couple.
Right.
It's not like
Why
you were in
wait?
undergrad. I mean, it's medical school.
Maybe, I don't know. And so his parents kind of had the same rate. Just get married. You're like,
Aw.
So we got married that June then.
So you were 26?
I was 25. Christine was 23.
Okay.
Whoa!
Baby.
Baby!
We were
Yeah.
Babies.
we were about
That's
that
true.
age
I
when we
was
got
also
married
25.
Right?
for the
Still.
first time.
Babies.
Yeah.
But I mean, we'd already been together, 3.5 or 4 years.
Yeah.
We have had so many longtime married couples in here that met in college. There's something to be said for meeting young and starting to build a life together when you're young.
Yeah.
That's how we used to do it in the old days.
Right.
The olden times.
The old days.
That's
Well,
right.
one thing is nice. It's easy, right? It's
There's
easy.
a lot of foundation there.
Yeah. So,
And when you know somebody when they were in their late teens, early 20s, right? You're watching them grow. I mean, as you're growing, right?
yes, yeah.
Because we know the frontal lobe isn't fully developed, so you do stupid things, right?
Lots.
Tony never did stupid things.
He really didn't. He really didn't. We all looked at Tony was the pillar of virtue and good in the world.
So tell us about the wedding. Where did you guys get married?
We got married in downtown Detroit. St. Peter and St. Paul is a Catholic church there. Yeah, we got married at the same church that my parents got
Very
married.
sweet.
Yeah.
That's nice. How big was that wedding?
Couple hundred people, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Little intimate affair.
Well, I mean, right? It was just right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it was
exactly
just
the people
right.
who needed to be
Right,
there.
yeah.
Were there. Yeah.
Yeah.
How lovely. And
Yeah.
what about the honeymoon? Did you guys take a honeymoon right after?
So we delayed our honeymoon for a couple of weeks until I had a break in between the third and the fourth year. And then we went to London. Was
Yes,
it London
we
and Paris?
How romantic. So sweet.
That's right.
Now you guys have been married for 30.
34 years.
36
36 years.
It's shocking.
So 36 years in, how do you guys keep your relationship like so hot and fun and on track? Like, what's your secret recipe?
What's our secret recipe?
Having fun together, making each other laugh
Yeah,
is important.
laughter is important. So important, right?
And just doing things, small things, special things, not necessarily on a special day, because every day is, maybe something a little bit different or a little special.
What are some of the special things you do for Christine?
The dishes.
Oh, that is real.
Work, Tony. Way to go.
Oh, I love to do the dishes.
I know you do. What about flying his beautiful wife out to do our podcast?
Yeah.
That is pretty romantic.
Pretty good.
Giving her a foot rub or massaging her legs.
Just wanting to do something nice for each other and being a couple together.
Yeah.
And it's comforting knowing you have each other. We love to do a lot of the same things. We're very like-minded in a lot of things. And I think that we also just want to have adventure and fun and are open to like coming here or going to Atlantic City with his parents or just crazy things. We're always up for something fun and adventurous, and we love to do it together. I've really thought about this. I really think that staying married such a long time is a choice. Little things might happen where you're annoyed with each other, and you can choose to focus on that. Or you can choose to remember, oh, he did do the dishes.
Right,
Right?
focusing
And then-
on the good.
Always. So,
Yeah.
and putting the relationship as a priority. Foster a connection with each other.
Taking time apart from the boys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've always gone away on weekends or longer by ourselves.
That's nice.
Now, having said that, I think we also do a lot of things on our own, and then we bring that experience to share with each other, too.
Nice.
A lot of growth has happened in 36 years, and sometimes the growth is together, and sometimes the growth is apart because you're going to have different interests. Having the respect to say, you have this interest, you should develop that. Allowing someone to develop an interest that is not one of yours, still coming back and sharing it in some other way.
Being supportive of each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice.
Having each other's backs.
Yeah, for sure.
You guys have 3 beautiful, loving boys.
We do.
When they're looking for a life partner to choose, what advice would you give them?
I think maybe young people these days, I don't think they give things enough of a chance. Relationships, I think they tend to discard them too quickly.
Right, because they have this abundance of profiles, and so
Yeah.
they're too easy to.
On to the next.
Yeah.
I guess if I had advice, it'd be like what happened to us. You have to give it a chance.
Right.
Maybe things don't go the way you thought they would the first time, but maybe if you give it a little bit more time and let things develop a little bit longer, maybe you'll find something that could last.
I think instead of what they should be looking for in somebody or what a relationship should be, is be the person that you would want to find. right? So if you want a kind, caring, adventurous, fun-loving person, be that person. And then you attract that person to you.
Interesting.
That's good advice. Yeah.
And if you happen to have the worst first date ever, embrace it. Because you never know what can come on that second.
Never
That's
know.
right. You never know.
Right? We're going to bring Alan Trammell out of retirement. So we hit another home run for your Tigers.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually.
Yeah.
We've been very blessed.
It takes work, but I would say for you two, what I know, it's pretty carefree and it just works. You guys are just we talked about you have each other's backs and you respect each other and you love each other and you like to be close, but also you give each other the freedom to fly and be free and come back with a new adventure to share.
Yeah.
You know?
Right?
Yeah.
Sometimes texting all day long and knowing what everything you're doing, and then when you come together at the end of the day, you know everything already, right?
Yeah.
There's no conversation.
Yeah. I've been taking skydiving lessons, but I have not told her because I
Okay.
want to share. I want to surprise her later.
I can't wait.
I think the takeaway of all of this for the guys out there is that as long as you continuously massage your ladies' feet and legs, you should be okay. Maybe for 36 years.
Well, there's that.
There is that.
There's that. All right.
And once in a while, bring her chocolate.
Yes! Bring it at home, Christine.
That's right.
That's why we love you. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for sharing with us. That was
Great to be
fantastic.
here.
What a sweet story.
Yeah, and I hope that you come back in 14 years to celebrate your 50th with us.
Are we that old? We're not that old. We're
No.
young at heart
You
still.
are young at
there
heart.
you go.
Well, you
Are.
both look like babies.
You do. You do. And anyway, we'll be right back with more for Love and Chocolate. This podcast is being brought to you by Beverly Hills Toysher Chocolates of Switzerland. Beverly Hills Toysher at 371 North Camden Drive in Beverly Hills has been serving up truffles, pralines, dipped fruits, marzipans, and our world-famous chocolate bars for over 40 years. So, next time you're in Beverly Hills, why don't you come by and visit or shop online at BeverlyHillsToysher.com.
Well, what a sweet day it's been, Mr. Truffles.
It really has.
Songs and serenades
Yeah.
and sweet couples just hitting it out of the ballpark.
Look what you did. You're like a poet. That was perfect.
Thank you, Mr. Truffles.
Well, thank you,
You're
Mrs.
perfect.
Truffles. Well, hey, everyone, thanks again for joining us. And guess what? We're going to do it again next week. But until then, say goodbye, Mrs. Truffles.
Goodbye, Mrs. Truffles.
This show was brought to you by Beverly Hills Toysher Chocolates of Switzerland, home of the world's first and finest champagne truffles. Join us next week for more adventures in everlasting love.